Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be opening the newly released re-release of Terminator 2 Judgment Day's official soundtrack. Now, if you've been a subscriber to my channel for a while, you will see that I do upload the occasional odd Terminator or Arnold Schwarzenegger related video. I kind of do like one or two a year. In fact, the Technor T800 Hot Toys review I did about 2 or 3 years ago now is actually one of my most popular videos on my channel. Big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator franchise. If you've been a subscriber to my channel for a very long time, you may have seen that my very first upload on my channel was when I actually met Arnold Schwarzenegger in London back in 2012. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to be opening and having a little look at the newly released Terminator 2 Judgment Day's official soundtrack. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why is this a new release? There have been several versions of this soundtrack released in the past. This is a brand new release. In fact, it only came out Friday, which would have been February the 24th, 2017. Now, if you're not aware, Terminator 2 is getting re-released in the cinemas later this year. And I'm very, very much excited to be able to get the chance to see this in the cinema. It's not just a standard release of the film either. The film has been completely remastered in 4K and will be released in 3D. And the conversion process has been done exclusively under the guidance of the man himself, James Cameron, the director. So yes, the film comes out simultaneously in both America and the United Kingdom on August the 25th, that is of this year, 2017. It is getting released in other countries in Europe and elsewhere in Russia. If you want to check out those dates, I'd recommend Googling it or going on the official Facebook page for Terminator 2 and seeing if your country will be getting a release date. So yes, very, very much excited to get the chance to see one of my favourite films of all time, and I'm going to say it is, in my opinion, the greatest sequel for a film ever made. And I know there's some great sequels out there, and that's probably going to annoy maybe Empire Strike Back fans or even the Dark Knight fans, but I think Terminator 2 is the greatest sequel ever. So yes, the artwork they've got on the front here is the cover poster art that they are using for the re-release of the film. If you go on their official Facebook page, you'll see that this is the poster they're going to be using, and I would imagine the poster that's going to be advertising it when we start seeing it in the cinemas later this year. So I am going to get my trusty knife out and we're going to open the seal and have a little look what's inside here. But before we do that, let me show you the case. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed because when I got this in the mail, I realised that it kind of comes in like them sort of, they're getting more common now, the sort of cardboard sleeve. Sadly, it's not in a plastic case, which I would have much rather have had, but this still looks cool nonetheless. This retails at the minute for $9.99 on Amazon, so it's a pretty good deal. You can download the soundtrack digitally if you want, but I'm very much more of owning the physical copy. I'm very much more prefer that. One thing I really do like about this, though, with the exception of obviously the cardboard sleeve, is that on the back it actually contains the original cover for the original release for this soundtrack. So obviously this soundtrack's been released several times since its release in 1991. But this was probably its more common cover for the soundtrack. And you can see it's got music composed by Brad Fiedel, criminally underrated composer. It's such a shame he dropped out of movies after True Lies, because he's the soundtracks he performed for Terminator 1 and 2 and True Lies, to name a few, are brilliant. But yes, that's enough of the case. It's not really much. That's a stick area on the front here. I don't know whether that's just to help the staff or whether they're scanning to do it. But I will say that a bit funny, when I opened the letter that this come in, it fell out this way and I saw this and I immediately thought, oh no, they've actually sent me the old copy of the soundtrack. And I was like, oh, it's great. It looks like I'm going to need to contact the customer service until I turn it over. And I was like, ah, no, it is correct. It's got the Terminator 2 Judgment Day logo on it there. So I'm just going to pause the video just so I can get the cling film off and let's have a look inside. Okay, so here is the soundtrack out of its cellophane wrapping, and if we open it up, we've got a pretty nice display here inside. You've got selected scenes here from the film itself. So you've got the T-1000 here looking for John Connor on his way to the Galleria. You've got the lorry chase scene, Sarah Connor. Obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger here, Sarah Connor, and the final battle, or just after the final battle. Here are all the tracks. Now, as far as I'm aware, I haven't really read up much on this online prior to recording this. This is the complete soundtrack for the film. It has 20 tracks there, but I'm not entirely certain on that. If you know that this is or not, please do feel to correct me in the comment section below. So, brilliant soundtrack, as I've already said. Some of my favourites, obviously the main themes, classic. Really loved the Escape from Hospital and with the T-1000 theme. It may well be my favourite theme, and also scene from the film. I really do like that. Trust Me, I'll Be Back. Cameron's Inferno, that's a cool track. The Terminator Empowered and Terminator Revives, they're two really awesome tracks. And also It's Over, Goodbye, I really do like that track as well. To be honest with you, there's not really any of the tracks I don't like on this. I've listened to this soundtrack literally countless times. It's definitely, yeah, I would without say it's in my top 5 soundtracks for a film of all time. But yeah, let's get to the disc. The disc's a little bit complicated to get out. It's kind of really tucked away in there. I'm going to just take it off screen just so I can get it out. Bear with me. It is very much hidden in there. Right, we've got it. So here we go. So here's a way that you, if this was compared with other soundtrack release for Terminator 2, you would know that this is exclusively for the re-release because it has the new poster artwork. Well, it's not new artwork, essentially it's a screenshot from the film, sort of touched up with brightness bit here, released for the re-release. That's really cool. Unfortunately, obviously I can't preview you any of the themes itself because obviously due to copyright, but I would definitely recommend checking this soundtrack out. I mean, chances are if you're watching this video you've probably already seen Terminator 2 already, or even Terminator 1. Hugely successful film and franchise. James Cameron has said that if this film does well in the cinemas, he is going to look at possibly doing 4K releases and conversion to 3D. Also released to the cinema for his other films as well, so we may well get a Terminator 1, True Lies, Aliens, maybe some more. I mean, I know he did re-release Titanic in 2012 and that did quite well at the box office. This is also the first time that Terminator 2 will be getting a release in China, and the Terminator franchise is extremely popular in China. And Terminator 2 took a lot of money for its time back in 1991, and we're going to see just how much it takes when Terminator 2 comes out for the first time in China. In fact, Terminator Genesis, that come out a couple of years ago, so you will about the film, it's got very mixed reviews. I mean, I'll admit it's by no way means close to Terminator 1 or 2, but it's an enjoyable film nonetheless, I find. But yes, that film, Terminator Genesis, took less than $100 million, I believe, in America, but it took a lot more money in China. As I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and especially the Terminator franchise, is extremely popular in China. So we're going to look to see how it does. But yes, that's pretty much all I can say about it. The film, it's a little bit strange. I would have thought this film would have been released in the cinemas last year, because last year was its 25th anniversary. We're in kind of like the 26th anniversary now. The film did get released quite early on in 2016 for its re-release, but I believe it was put back somewhat, and it's now coming out 2017. Not that I'm complaining, but I guess it would have been a little bit more of a cool, I don't know what's the word, sort of like a more anniversary themed deal for the Terminator franchise. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys, especially all the way to the end. Your support is very much appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, please do feel free to give me a thumbs up also. Really do appreciate that. Let me know if you've seen Terminator 2. I'm not going to say you probably have. What you think of the Terminator series. Yeah. Once again, thanks for watching. See you on the next video, guys. I forgot to add one last thing before I close this video. This soundtrack here has also been released on vinyl. I've had a little look at it, some pictures of it online, and it actually does look cooler than the CD version of it. It comes with the same illustration here you've got on the front, but it's got some really nice blown up screenshots of the film inside the case when you open here, and it actually looks like it's got 2 vinyls inside the soundtrack. Looks pretty cool. I haven't seen how much prices are for that one, but it did come out the same time as this one, being February the 24th. So if you're a big music fan and you're really into vinyl's really big now, it's really coming back into the popular trends, and you're a big fan of Terminator, then I would recommend picking up the vinyl edition. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.